What's up, podcast listeners? It's Andy, it's Drew, it's producer Robin. We are back with an exciting new episode here at the What's Up Casselberry podcast headquarters. Welcome back.
A new episode for a new year.
Indeed, indeed. Lots of newness happening. New haircut. Like it?
Well, that's about 6 weeks. Thanks for noticing last time I saw you. I'm honored.
Sorry.
But yeah, 2023.
Yeah.
2023. I remember growing up and 2023 was just a distant dream. And here we are living the dream. Right, Robin?
Weren't we supposed to have like flying cars by now, and you could teleport and all that stuff? That was in the movies from like the 80s.
You don't have one?
I don't.
I mean, they're
not
doing
yet.
flying minivans now, so you'll be great with your growing tribe.
I'm looking for one. I really am. Producer Robin, how are you? What's going on?
I am well. I am great.
What did you have any New Year's plans? Any fun stuff since we've seen each other last?
Just living and thriving.
Living and thriving.
That's
the
right.
2023.
2023. I told you it's the year of Robin.
The year of
Unstoppable.
It is.
Yeah.
Unhumble.
It's kind of like the isn't in the traditional, is it the Chinese calendar where they have the year of the whatever?
Yeah.
The year of the rabbit
It's
this
the
year.
It could be the year of the Robin.
The year of the Robin.
Yes.
Drew,
yes.
do you feel as intimidated?
That's my own calendar.
Do you feel as intimidated as I do about being part of the year of Robin and just with the
You should be.
force that Robin said that? That's right.
I feel like we better get in line or we're going to be in big trouble.
So it's our first episode post holidays. Yeah. How was your holiday, Drew?
It was nice. We stayed in mostly around Orlando. Did take a day trip to go see some family over in Brooksville, and kids had fun. We did have a little bit of sickness in the house, but everybody's good now, and we're celebrating presents with worship. And then very, very soon we are looking to welcome 2 new additions into our home. Yep.
There's going to be a new year on so many levels for you, and that's quite a Christmas gift too. Robin, your holidays were good?
Fantastic.
And why, can we ask, were they fantastic?
They were just wonderful. I spent with good friends and just one of the best holidays ever.
Did you notice Robin blushed when I asked that question?
I did. Were you on the nice list or the naughty list?
True. Does someone want to ask me about my
How was your Christmas, Andy?
Because really, I don't want to hear about your Christmases. I just want to tell you about mine because it was really tough.
Tell us, please.
We got caught in that Southwest airline meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
So we spent Christmas Day for 8 hours at the airport, and then 2 flight cancellations later, we decided to drive 17 hours to see my in-laws. So I'm glad you guys had a good Christmas.
Oh, boy. So you're glad to get into the new year and start fresh again.
2022 did not end well.
Well, one thing that a staple of this podcast, and we hope there's some new listeners here. And if you don't know us, Andy and I are pastors and friends, and I used to live in Casselberry. I no longer do, but Robin and Andy live in Casselberry. I live right around the corner, but we are about all things Casselberry and highlighting the great things of this community. And as you've already heard, Andy and I are both parents. So we, of course, come up with our weekly dad joke segment. It's time for the dad joke of the week.
The first of the year.
All right. Mine are, Andy, I've got 2 for us. They're New Year's themed. Here we go. Robin, did you read these ahead of time? All right, here we go. So this is a real live reaction to my jokes. All right, first dad joke of the week. A New Year's resolution is something that goes in one year and out the other. There we go. That was kind of a second and final for me. Andy,
I got a marathon.
I was saying Andy's got several.
Comfortable.
Yeah, I've got a couple. All right, this is it. You guys resolution people? Set goals for
Up
yourself?
until the second week of January.
Okay, yeah, that's right. The first week, I've already broken one of mine. My resolution was to read more, though. I'm
Very good.
wanting to be more of a reader.
Really?
And yeah, so I decided to put the closed captioning on the TV screen.
Oh, yeah. That was the joke I used on the social media page this week. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
I just delivered it better on social media than you did.
There we go. There's mine. Andy.
So that's a little plug for our social media.
That is.
That would have been hilarious if you were confident in your delivery, Drew. I think that should be your resolution is to have delusion with these jokes, like Andy does, that these jokes are funny.
Like conviction.
No. It wasn't confidence that caused that joke to collapse. It was just a bad joke. That's right. All right. So this true story. I actually had a little Christmas crisis over the week of Christmas. Doug, who's my supplier for dad jokes,
so make sure you add the dad jokes, not just supplier.
Didn't send me any because he was like doing a social media fast or whatever, which was great, but I was missing out. So I texted him yesterday. I said, Doug, we're recording. I need your help. And so, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
I mean, I got jokes on lots of different themes.
Let's just do it.
First of all, it's a joke about paper. No, I won't tell that. That's terrible.
There you go.
I don't get it.
Terrible.
Okay.
Wah, wah.
The girl says to the guy, what do you do? The guy says, I race cars. Her, really? Do you win many races? Guy, no, the cars are much faster. This is a skydiver joke.
Okay.
What did the skydiver say when her pack didn't open?
What?
Oh, shoot.
All right, Doug. All right, that's good.
One more?
Yep, one more.
You know it's going to be 3 more.
I was going to say, it's not going to be one more.
Oh, are we still like PG-13 or...
We're marked clean on the podcast.
Okay, well, this is a clean joke. My new SUV has a button that says rear wiper. I'm afraid to push it. Does that make the cut,
good.
Robin?
And thank you for our last episode. We're canceled now.
All right, one more. Just
Yeah,
to
one
kind of raise the bar. Did you hear that 2 watermelons couldn't get married?
That's terrible.
They were devastated when these 2 watermelons were told that they couldn't get married. However, no one said that they couldn't elope. They can't elope. My delivery was bad on that. I've been around Drew too much.
Folks, there you have it, our dad jokes of the week. They're not funny, but it's a staple of what we do. We're generally not funny. I'm generally not funny.
Stop it. We're talking highly of ourselves in 2023.
Positive momentum. Well, hey, this we have lots to be positive about. There's just really some great things happening in our community. We every episode like to just give a little smattering of some of the great things happening in Casselberry with our Casselberry in the News segment. Andy, you found truly, I kind of choked up reading this sweet account from the news over the holiday season. So over Christmas, apparently this is an annual tradition in the Deer Run community. There is a family, and their last name is Gilmore. Wally Gilmore of Casselberry lives on Almond Court. He and his son and grandson and other family members do an annual music event. They are instrumentalists by trade, and the story goes that son and father all play different instruments together, and on the grounds, on the court, the whole neighborhood comes out and listens. It was a good reminder that holiday traditions really do matter, and they speak to kind of the inclusion of folks that are part of your community.
Yeah, I love this story too. It captured my attention as well, because you got some folks who could be doing anything they wanted on Christmas Eve, but they're choosing to add value to those in their community and using their gifts, their talents to bless others. And I love those kind of stories. And so thank you, Gilmore family, for sharing your gifts with our community. And I think of the Santa Claus movie, right? When you got to generate enough Christmas spirit to help Santa get around the globe. Well, you guys generated some Christmas spirit, so thank you for that.
Well, and I even want to just highlight maybe put a call out to our readers. If you our listeners, if you happen to know the Gilmore family, if you live in that area or know Mr. Gilmore, let us know. We'd love to shout him out or meet him or do something, get a picture on our social page.
Yeah, and also, listener, if you hear any good stories happening in our community that you believe need to be celebrated, we would love to help celebrate them. So reach out to us at the usual addresses and we'll do what we can.
That's right. All right, we're going to take a break before our special guest. We want to highlight our podcast partner. Today's podcast partner is Edward Jones, and specifically Alia Fareed with Edward Jones. Alia and her dad, Arif, have been in the financial business for a long time. They do a fantastic job of investing not only your money, but also investing in our community. Alia serves on the board at the Casselberry Chamber of Commerce, and her office is located at 587 Ruby Court in Maitland. She has been involved, born and raised here in Central Florida, where her mother was a Seminole County teacher for a number of years, and her father, as I said, has been an Edward Jones financial advisor. And Alia really has a passion for the community. She's involved in many different service projects. So reach out to Alia for a free consultation. If you are looking for financial advice, you can reach her at 407-678-0658.
Welcome back, listeners. This is our first interview of the new year. Drew spent most of the holiday season watching late night TV to perfect his interview skills, and Fox and CNN, and listen to talk radio. So I know he's ready for the interview.
Oh, we went big, Andy. We went with a local Casselberry celebrity for this one.
We did.
Yeah,
we are starting strong with our very own Karen Almond. As you know, Karen has been a part of our community for longer than Drew and producer Robin have been alive. And to make her feel old, perhaps, she is just retired. Although if this was a video podcast, you would see that she looks way too young for retirement. She has termed out after many, many years serving our schools and serving our county on the school board. And we are delighted, Karen, that you are with us today, looking surprisingly relaxed, like a lady who doesn't have 1,000 things on her plate right now.
I am very relaxed, Andy and Drew. Thank you for having me back. And Robin, good to see you again. I guess I did okay with my first interview a few years ago for you to call me back. So I'm very delighted to be here. Thank you.
That's right. It wasn't because we were desperate for interviews. It was because you're good, Karen. That's right. Just keep remembering this. You have served our community so well for so many years, and just off air, we were talking about some of the people we've met and how great it is to be embedded in a community for a long time. But these last few years, you've had a very specific and clearly defined role on the school board. As you look back to before you started that, what were some of the things that prompted you to get involved in civil service in our school system?
Great question. So I had 3 young children. My oldest was getting ready to go into elementary school a year down the road, and I decided to start getting involved in checking out Casselberry Elementary, the school that my children were zoned for. I had done a lot in the community prior to having children, and I was glad to take that next step. You really want to know who you are entrusting your most precious children with. So I spent the year before. I was involved with PTSA and SAC. I also volunteered for 21 years within the school system, wherever I felt like I had the skill to do what they needed done. So then Sandy Robinson, who was a school board member, who actually sat in the seat that I was in District 2 prior to myself, called me one day and said, "I'm going to be retiring soon. I think you would be a really great fit." We had a conversation for about 3 hours. She shared her calendar. I looked at my calendar. I wanted to see logistically if I could even make it work, because there were things that I was involved with that I wanted to stay involved with. And it was kind of eerie that it did work out. They aligned. Along with school volunteering, I knew a lot of community leaders, and I also knew our local delegation. And I think it's really important to know our elected if you're going to work with them.
I love that, Karen, getting the privilege to know your children that are roughly my age and grown, that to think back over those last 20 plus years of watching just an entire generation or more of children go through Seminole County Public Schools. That's got to be really rewarding for you. When you think back on your time specifically with the school board, what were some maybe challenges and even some lessons learned from that time?
I think the first hardest decision that I ever had to make as a school board member was in 2011, 2012. And Andy, you were active at that time. Yeah. The economy had tanked. The school district had cut 750 employees. Many of them were retiring. Some were being prompted to retire. It's very difficult to say to someone, you're going to lose your job. Along with that, we looked at anything and everything that was proposed to save money, big money especially, and there was talk of closure of elementary schools. Ultimately, temporarily, Longwood Elementary was closed. That was very emotional for the community, and I can relate. If your children go to a school and then perhaps you had gone to that school, maybe even your parents or the children's grandparents, there's a legacy there. Folks are emotional, and their families are important to them. So that was a personal, hard decision.
And I probably need to apologize for being one of those emotional parents.
No,
Karen,
you were fine.
Who got in your face a little bit about that.
It goes with the job. And then I'd say the hardest season would be the last few years, beginning with COVID. Something really changed where people seemed to make every decision political. And it's sad because I think in education, you do what's best for kids. And it may align with how you believe politically or not, but you're just making your decision.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect just transition then to our next question, which is, when you face a difficult decision, and you're in a unique role for our listeners. The school board member is a member of a team. It's not just you individually making decisions apart from the collective board. What was your kind of personal system or way of kind of working through a challenging decision?
Okay, well, the way you proposed that, I have to address that you said, you are not just one, you're part of a board. As a single board member, you can tell anyone anything you want, but it's your opinion. It holds no weight. So it is only when you're seated in the public, in the sunshine, that anything you say or do has any weight to it.
Okay. That's good, because a lot of the time, whenever I say anything, it doesn't hold any weight, Karen. So at least, especially something.
Especially at home, right?
Especially at home. I was going to make that same joke.
So first and foremost, I ask myself if I think it's in the best interest of the students. Sometimes you can control something, sometimes you can't. If the legislature determines you're going to do it, whether you think it's in the best interest of the students or not, you're still going to abide by the law. Then I typically do an Excel spreadsheet. I do a lot of Excel spreadsheets with the pros and cons. I also look to see if there's actually a financial cost. And then I inquire of staff if it's a big decision, if there's a time commitment or a time cost. We often don't have the time to do the depth of research that you really, really, really want to do. You can be pretty sure, but you'd love to be absolutely sure that you're making the right decision. I like to take input from people that might agree with me and people who don't agree with me. I typically don't give them feedback because I wait till the very end to take all the input to make my decision. But sometimes you change your mind based on someone who doesn't agree with you because they present a point of view that you hadn't thought of.
Yeah, I love that process, and I think that's a thing that we all can grow in a little bit. It's so easy to react emotionally and to trust our gut or our feelings. And while there's a place for that on some decisions, certainly the big decisions, certainly the decisions about our kids really need some thorough examination. I love that you did that and you apply that on those tough decisions. Talking about one of those tough decisions when you were talking about closing schools, and I think that's how you and I met, and we were advocating for Casselberry not to be closed. And that was a difficult season, but fast forward another 10 years just to this last fall, and you and I think Drew was there as well, got to celebrate the opening of the new Casselberry school. And that was just a beautiful picture for me. I just paused for a moment and said, 11 years ago, we were fighting to keep our community school, yet here we are celebrating this new $20 million investment. So there are lots of tough times, but there are also lots of good times as well. So as you think back on your tenure of leadership, what are some of the accomplishments that you're most proud of having served on the board?
So again, collectively, because we don't do things in a vacuum, I think the one that stands out the most is ePathways, which is educational pathways. And there are a great team of leaders at the school district that work really, really hard, work collaboratively to bring opportunities to students. If 10 students came together and said to their principal, we would love to have XYZ program, we'd love to learn about automotive, whatever it is, I think that principal would do a little exploration and see if it's feasible or see if it's somewhere else that perhaps students can take advantage of at another campus, which does happen. There's so many great opportunities for kids. I find that when people go back and visit a school now, they wish they could go back to elementary, middle, and high. It was not like that when we were students.
I heard that at Casselberry quite a bit, just in terms of the classroom the smart rooms and all of the bells and whistles in some of these new campuses. Yeah, you were a big part of that. Again, you're not tooting your own horn, but a part of the collective board that saw those things move forward.
So Drew, did I hear correctly that you did enroll again in second grade?
No, I was in a dumb classroom, not a smart classroom. Karen, Andy and I are leadership junkies. We love to talk leadership, and I think this on the next page of your notes, just in terms of thinking about your 20 plus years on the school board, what would you say was a major change for you? How did you see yourself develop and grow as a person through your time on the board?
Back in 2010, when I first ran for school board, I hired a coach rather than a political person because I didn't want to change. I didn't want to change as a person. I wanted to know you today and 20 years ago, and you think I'm that same person.
I like that. That's
Thank
that's
you.
really good.
Speaks of integrity.
It does.
Oh, thank
The
you.
definition of integrity, really. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a different person as Karen Almond, the citizen, as well as this.
I would say, though, I am more informed at a deeper level, and I'm also very much more empathetic to people. People deal with a lot of things, have a lot on their plate, good, bad, and otherwise, and often when school board members are dealing with something or making a decision, the public isn't always privy to all that information and background. I feel like the folks at Seminole County Public Schools want to do everything they can to make students successful and to support the families.
Great.
You've managed to maintain your integrity and who you are through this. As a parent who's nearly finished with my kids' journey, and Drew's kind of just beginning, and you started when your kids were in school, but now you've had this kind of deep look inside the organization. You've gained all this experience and insight. What do you wish you knew when you were a parent that you know now? Or to put it another way, what advice would you want parents to know about their children's education?
I think I wish parents understood how complicated education is at a local level. There are decisions made at the federal and state level that impact locally, and much of that work is done behind the scenes. I would encourage parents to get involved, whether it's with PTA and SAC, stay informed, sign up for newsletters, ask questions, reach out to your teachers and your principals for resolution. A lot of times people go...
Not your social media feed.
Yeah,
No.
Oftentimes people go straight to the top, either to a school board member or superintendent, which is fine, and they're certainly entitled to reach out. But we kind of muddy the water a little because we then push it right back down to the teacher or the school or wherever it goes appropriately. Actually, the superintendent does. But the more involved you are and the more you understand, it's really a good thing, you know. It's better for your kids' education, saves you a lot of time and frustration.
Yeah. I think I obviously am not, our children are too young in my family, but hearing from Andy, hearing from you, Karen, and others that are involved and are serving and in the loop, just like you said, there is a natural sense of developing empathy when you understand that, that the school board or the powers that be aren't out to get my child,
That's
but
right.
rather are trying to do their best to serve the community as a whole.
I think I would just add to that too, that there is huge benefit for your child, for our child, for my kids. Not our child, we don't have kids together. We do. but there is a huge benefit for kids when their parents are involved, right? And for us as parents not to get involved actually hurts our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So Karen, what are you going to miss most? I know we've been talking about retirement and just the past. What do you, day to day, what do you miss the most about serving on the school board?
Seeing the people I've worked with for the last 12 years, and some more than that. Many I've known for 20 years or more on a daily basis or weekly basis. I always take a few folks with me from each step of my life. I'm down to 500 people on my Christmas card list. So there'll be people that stay on the path with me.
So you're saying Drew and I may not make the cut next year?
Might not. No, I want to keep up with you too.
It's like a family.
Sure.
You guys are a family, and when you're not seeing each other every day, it
I'll
changes
miss the
things.
school visits. I'll miss seeing the kids and their accomplishments.
So, Karen, I was privileged to be at your very last school board meeting, and I wanted to be there to stand with others and applaud you and thank you for all you've done. And it was wonderful to hear all the plaudits and see some of the videos about the things that you've been involved in. But as a gift, you were given a legacy bench in your honor to be placed at any school in the district. And it was no surprise to me that you chose to have that bench placed at Casselberry Elementary. Why was that?
I started my Seminole County Public School career at Casselberry Elementary in 1988 as a dividend volunteer. I felt so welcome. No matter who works there, I always feel welcome walking in. You know, even the new people today who they don't know me, and they go, "Hi, come on in. What can I do for you?" It seemed fitting that I would gift my bench to that school, and I will still visit that school, now and again, and when I'm allowed to volunteer again. I also appreciate that my tenure ended the day that we cut the ribbon for the acceptance of the new building.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it came full circle.
That felt very symbolic. That's beautiful. And just to clarify, there is a state law, I believe, that says once you leave an organization, you can't volunteer in that same organization. It's not like you're running away. It's just
Florida retirement system.
Yeah, that's part of the deal. So, I mean, $1 million question. I know you've been asked this hundreds of times, and you probably don't have an answer. But what does the future hold for Karen Almond?
Social media, not so much. You may get a like from me. That's about it. More in-person time with my family and friends, my grandkids, my mom, my husband. Simpler pleasures in life. Traveling. I went to Italy a few years ago, and I thought, okay, I've been to Europe. Starting to get the bug again. And just see the beautiful countries and cultures, just whatever I want to do.
Well, that's good. That's good. We're secretly hoping that maybe after this interview, this can launch a new podcast career for you, Karen.
Woohoo!
That's where it's at right now.
Grandma jokes.
Grandma jokes. Hey, they can't be any worse than Drew's dad jokes, Karen. So we've got that. But Karen, thank you so much for joining us today. It was very easy for us, top of our list about who we wanted to start the new year with, because we want to honor you and thank you for all that you've done to serve county, but specifically our schools and our community here in Casselberry as well. So Karen, thank you so much for being with us today.
My privilege.
Drew, wasn't that amazing to talk to Karen, such an inspirational lady who has led so well and made such a significant impact and difference in our community. She's an inspiration, but as we get to close up and close out this first episode of 2023, Drew, would you offer us a little bit of inspiration?
Absolutely. Yeah, there were several nuggets from Miss Almond in regards to wisdom. This is from Benjamin Franklin. Hope this encourages your week. It says this: as we think about the new year, be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you to be a better person. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you to be a better person. This new year, of course, there's the opportunity to make resolutions, goals, self-improvements. One of the ways in which that can be accomplished first is to identify, hey, what are the things holding me back? Is it my time management? Is it financial obligations? What are the things that are keeping you from being the best person that you were created to be? So be at war with them, put some of those things away, and in the same context, seek to be a good neighbor. We are all about making Casselberry the very best community it can be. I love that he added not just work on yourself, but also work with those in the surrounding community, being at peace with your neighbors. And we hope, listener, that you will have a new year. Well, you'll find a year from now, as we go to 2024, you'll be a better person.
That's certainly the hope. Thank you so much, Drew. Thank you, listener, for joining us on this first episode of the new year. Just a reminder that we're going to be dropping 2 episodes a month. So 2 weeks from now, you can expect another episode where we will be interviewing the chief of our police department. So make sure you subscribe, you like, you follow, so you can stay up to date with all our happenings. If you have any news that you'd like us to share, let us know. We appreciate you, and we're grateful that we're in this together. Take care. Have a great week.